Thank you. This is a hell of a crowd. This is great. I just traveled 3.5 hours on a big, fat, beautiful plane to get here. I had to be here. And this is an amazing group of people, and I thank you for the support. But, you know, I love you too. I love you. So, you know what I'm going to say to start off? Merry Christmas, right? Happy holiday, but Merry Christmas. You're not here anymore. You're not here. So this is all about Christmas and having a good holiday, and that's what it's all about. If you ever notice you don't hear that anymore, it's very sad. You go to these stores and they say something, they put whatever they put up, but they don't say Merry Christmas. They'll start saying Merry Christmas again, folks, believe me. So you probably saw what happened yesterday with Fox, right? Did everybody see? So we had the debate. I had one guy come at me with sound bites from his pollster. It was so sad to watch him. So sad. Bush. No, it was just sad. I mean, close to incompetent. You look at that, it was terrible. And then he does an ad where it's his piece, but he doesn't show my piece. Because my piece is what killed him. But his piece, and then they cut it. I said, where's my piece? No, yeah, he's a tough guy, really is tough. Oh, and then they accuse me. Putin called him brilliant. That's not good. Well, you know, isn't it sort of nice if, like, countries that we're always fighting with, maybe we get along and let them be? You know, we're all tough guys, but wouldn't it be nice if, like, Russia and us could knock out an enemy together, not us bear the full cost sometimes? We're always fighting, but I've had some guys say, oh, Russia. How about one of our other people up in the city? I wouldn't talk to them. I wouldn't discuss anything. I wouldn't talk. What do they want to do? They want to have a World War III. Okay? World War III. For what? For what? And they have problems. We all have problems. Russia's got plenty of problems. But I'll tell you what, if Putin likes me, and if he thinks I'm a good, smart person, which I hope he believes it, I am. Actually, he's right. I am really. You know that. You know what? If he says something positive, that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. They try and turn it around. And it's not to be turned around. This is good. This would be a great start. If you think about it, the money we spend on fighting everybody. And we have to rebuild our country. It's so important. It's so vital. We have to rebuild our hospitals and our everything. Our roads, our airports. Our country's a mess. Our bridges. Did you see a report? 61% of them are in trouble. What does that mean? You're driving across and it collapses. And that's been happening. You know, yeah. He's been very nice to me, so I won't repeat your remarks. He's been one of the ones very nice. Actually, I've had a number of them been very nice to me, but every once in a while they have to get aggressive because they have to pick up ratings. So Fox, we all respect Fox, and they came out with that big poll last night, and they have Trump at 39, up 11 points. So it went up 11 points since the debate. 11. And I said to myself, you know, I wonder, do they ever give me credit on these debates? Because we've had the debates, and every online poll, there are I think 11 of them. I had them, I gave them to them. But every online poll has been winning by a lot. And then you go on, you know, television and oh, Trump's okay, he was okay. But then you see that the big one, I go up by 11 points. That's a lot. And that's a lot. So we're at 39. Who's the second at 16? I mean, I won't go through the names, but you get a lot of people, and then you have a lot of them just single digits, and then you get down into the zero territory, close to zero, very close to zero. That's Bush and others. Then you have CNN. So you have CNN, 36 to 16. Think of that. 36 to 16. Then you have Washington Post just came out. ABC, Washington Post. Trump, 38, second, 15, third, 14, fifth, 10, or whatever. Monmouth Poll. Listen to this one. You love this. And they always look at all those people back there. They're terrible human beings. Some are real good, actually, but they ain't terrible. And they're very dishonest people, I have to tell you. I mean, the failing New York Times, like I said, they wrote a story. We have got such an incredible graduate, but you're only going to learn about it on February 1st, you know. But we have such a great gathering. But they write these stories, and it's So nasty. And it's always the same people writing. So here's the New York Times. They're failing, there's a paper, failing badly. New York Times buys the Boston Globe. They spend $1.3 billion to buy the Boston Globe. They sell it for essentially nothing. They got rid of it after years. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars in it. They computerized it. Oh, great. They brought it up to standard. They actually moved from one of the great buildings of the world, their original headquarters, into a building not so good. But they spent hundreds of millions of dollars in losses on the Boston Globe. They end up selling it for almost nothing. So, I don't know, maybe they're in for $1.5 billion, maybe they're in, but let's just take their purchase price, I don't know. So figure, they're in for $1.3 billion. Let's say they sold it for 50 or 70, $75 million. So they took a loss of $1 billion something, okay? Then, they have an office building. One of the most incredible, most beautiful places. It's like a cathedral of journalism, okay? A cathedral. They sell it to people I know very well in the real estate business. Smart guys, people smart. We need smart people. See, I know all the smart people. We're going to use the smart people to negotiate our deals, right? The New York Times, I call it the failing New York Times. I call it the failing at New York Times. I put it in the Twitter. They are so dishonest, but a lot of them dishonest. I mean, Washington Post is very dishonest. But that's the whole thing, because the person that bought it uses that for influence so he can keep the taxes down in the company that he runs, okay? That's the way it works. That's the way it works. But let's end the New York Times for a little while. So the New York Times loses a fortune on the Boston Globe, beyond money. And now it's in financial difficulty, right? The New York Times sells its office building, which they should have never, that's not an office building, it's a magnificent cathedral to journalism, with all the great publishers. It's the New York Times, you know, phenomenal. But now it's incredible, you know, it's a lot of problems. So New York Times sells this building for, I believe, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong back there, but I believe about $150 million. And the people that buy it flip it, not very long thereafter, for $500 million. Actually, I think it was more, but let's say $500. So they sell it for $150, and they need the money desperately. They sell it for $150, and it gets flipped for over $500 million. Okay, so you get Boston Globe where they lost like $1.3 billion or more, and you've got the office building where they sell it, and the people flip it a number of years later for a tremendous price. Got a tremendous price. And then they tell you about how to want to get there. And they give phony numbers and so dishonest. And I like, you know, the advantage I have is I can call people out. So whether it's the Times or the Wall Street Journal, I can call them out, and I do. I like to call them out. I don't care what difference it makes. And if this thing doesn't work for me, it's fine. It's fine. I love you anyway. Bye-bye. I'm going to go relax. Okay? 3.5 hours I flew to be with you people today. 3.5 hours back. I flew in from Florida. Somebody said, oh, you know what? That's a great group, but it's a smaller venue. Listen to this. One of my people who meant well. Don't worry. It's not Chuck and it's not Sam. They wouldn't have the guts. You know what I'm talking about. Now, one of my people said, oh, it's a smaller venue. Don't worry about it, Mr. Trump. We can just do that another time. I said, how many people? They said like 1,000, 1,400, 1,500 maybe. Yeah, probably 1,400, 1,500. So, and it was going to be 400 or 500. So, but we have a lot more people than that, because it's, you know, it is a beautiful place, by the way. But they said smaller venue. I said, I can't, right? Beautiful. I like it. Keeping my feet strong. We go to some places where I'm screaming into a mic because the sound is so. But they said, Mr. Trump, don't worry about it. We'll call the people, tell them they'll come. We'll come another time. I said, are they expecting me? Totally. I said, I'm coming. Are you crazy? I can't do that. So I told them so many times, the headquarters building a disaster, they're thinking a disaster, and then they write articles telling me this and that and that and that, you know. And I've made a fortune. I mean, you know, I've made a fortune. And the reason I tell you that, I made a lot. I never in my wildest dreams ever thought I was going to make what I made. Billions and billions of dollars, the best assets, very little debt, tremendous cash flow. The reporters were so disappointed when they went to the federal election, right? Will you file all these papers? I have almost 100-page report in Financial. They would say, hello, are you with the New York Times manager? How did these people get in there? Who's he shooting for? I think now they're shooting for they're probably shooting actually for the Wall Street Journal. They like that story about the New York. But anyway, just keep shooting, folks. Don't worry about it. It's amazing. I don't think this never happened before. That's okay. Look, here we have NBC. They're supposed to be back there. That's okay. So it's been an amazing period. I've had so much fun doing this, and the fun is meeting the people. We've had crowds. In Dallas, we had 20,000 people. In Mobile, Alabama, we had 35,000 people. And by the way, in different places in Iowa, we're setting records. Here, we're setting a record. In different places in Iowa, we're just setting records. And I don't mean records like by people. I don't mean by two people. I mean, quadruple. I mean, if people, they come up here, they'll have 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, if they're lucky. And you look at the kind of crowds. Look up here. Look at the kind of crowds we have. And it's just an honor. And the thing that amazes me and impresses me the most, and I had no idea, I go around all over the country. We had 20,000 in Oklahoma. Every record has been broken by me in Iowa. In New Hampshire, same thing. It's been incredible. Massachusetts, I'm at 52. Now, Tom Brady likes me, so that helps, right? Tom Brady is my pal. Tom Brady is good. Tom Brady said Trump's a winner. I mean, when Tom Brady says you're a winner, that's a good feeling. Because he's great. He's a great guy. I'll tell you what, he's a great guy. That's what he is. He's really a great guy. But we're doing well all over. But I got to know the people. And I got to know the vets. So many vets are being treated so badly. And I got to know the vets. We're going to treat them great. We're going to treat them great. And we're going to make our military really, really, really strong. In many ways, it's the best investment you can make. Because if you make it really strong, really adept, really good, really powerful, you're not going to have to use it, folks. That's the way it works. You're not going to have to use it. Nobody's going to mess with us. It's the cheapest thing we can do in so many ways. Instead of these things that go on forever, and we don't know how to fight. And I've been saying for years, get the oil, right? Has everybody heard it? Now the other day I'm hearing the candidates, they used to say, isn't that ridiculous? I've been saying, get the oil, take away the wealth from ISIS, right? I've been saying that for 3-4 years. Now I actually said something different. I said don't go into Iraq. 2003, 2004, headlines. Trump says you're making a mistake, you're going to destabilize the Middle East, all that. Okay, so I'm right. I should get points for vision, but I'm sure they never did that. Nobody ever writes that story. I mean, they never write it. I say it all the time, but they never write it. They only write the bad stuff, right? But there's not too much bad stuff. So don't go into Iraq. Soon I said you're going to destabilize the Middle East because Iran and Iraq were the same militarily. Right? And they'd fight. They always fight. That's all they do. They fight. They like to fight. We don't want to fight. We're better at fighting than they are, but we don't want to fight. No, we're better. We're better than anybody. We're better. We have the right leadership. But we're better. But they like to fight. They've been fighting forever. And they go 10 feet this way, 10 feet that way, 10 feet this way, 10 feet that way. They take a rest. They rest for a couple of years, so they start again. They were the same. Remember Saddam Hussein, he used the gas, and they complained, you're not supposed to use gas, they used gas. Okay, after a little while, they stopped. They held each other in check. And I said, you know what? I don't know about weapons of mass destruction, which turned out to be a fallacy, but you're going to destroy the equilibrium. You're going to destroy that whole balance of the Middle East. Because I've been watching these guys fighting. My whole life they've been fighting. So I said, you're going to destroy. Well, we go and we decapitate the one. We spend $2 trillion. Now, I've been saying $2 trillion for 2 years, by the way. I know one thing. It hasn't gone down. It could have gone down if they did what I said, which was keep the oil. My man. It could have gone down if they kept the oil. See, I didn't say bomb the oil. I said keep the oil. And give some of it to the vets and the families and the wounded warriors who've been so badly hurt. But seriously. Now, of course, when oil prices being down, down so low, it's not quite the same thing, but it's still good. And a lot of people think that maybe OPEC is pouring out oil because they want to destroy a lot of companies. They want to destroy companies. It's a theory. Got to think about it. You heard the theory, anybody, where OPEC is pumping out a lot of oil because they want all these companies as a glut of oil? There has been for years. But it used to be over $100 a barrel. Now it's really dropping down 35, which I love personally. But the oil companies are getting hurt. A lot of guys are going to go out of business. And, you know, there's a theory that OPEC does that in order to drive everybody out of business. And then they cut back and the oil price goes up and they make a fortune. And they have a monopoly again. But who would ever think, these are our friends, right? They would never do that. They would never do that. So who knows? It's a theory. I personally think they're just trying to make as much money as they can. Okay, personally. But there is that theory out there. So I look at what's going on and I look at the decisions that are being made about running our country. I look at a Sergeant Bergdahl, I call him the 5 for 1, where he's a traitor, a dirty, rotten traitor. Where we lose 5 people, dead, great young people. I see the mothers and fathers on television talking about how great their son was, etc., in this case sons. But I watched the people who get like devastated. Their lives are just a disaster. It's just horrible. Talking about how great, showing pictures. Killed looking for this guy that we shouldn't even want. Now, when we made the deal, we knew he was a traitor. Because they had a general and a colonel there talking to everybody that knew him. And they knew he left, and he was a traitor. So we lose 5 or 6 people. And we make a deal. We knew this. So we give them 5 of the worst killers that are right now all back on the battlefield. You've been seeing it. 5 of the people they've wanted for 9 years. We release them and give them back for one dirty, rotten traitor that I'd like to make sure this guy, frankly, I'd drop him right back in the middle of the area that we took him from.